Welcome, guys, to another episode of United Transfer Talk. And in this one, I'll be focusing on three players from the same team, and that team is Borussia Dortmund. As you know, they perform extremely well in midweek, and I'm just going to be talking about three of the players that I have kind of like special interest in and see what you guys think make of them. The first one is obviously Robert Lewandowski. Great performance during midweek, 4 goals against a Madrid side that is very strong defensively. Talks a lot about his ability and goal scoring prowess, and although that kind of like ability would be welcome and it would be a welcome addition to the squad. A lot of you guys has been debating on Twitter with me and others, whether we actually need him. Obviously, we already have 4 great strikers at the club, but when you add another top class talent, you're not going to be kind of like arguing with the boss's situation or a decision if he does go into the market and get Lewandowski. Obviously though, there's been a bit of complication because of Bayern Munich. They already got Mario Götze from Dortmund, and apparently there's been a pre-agreement with him to go in the summer or this summer for a proposed fee, or next summer when his contract is out and he goes there for free. And interesting news came out yesterday that Salah has been given almost the green light from the Glazer family to splash the cash and have a huge war chest this summer to bring in his lead targets, and one of those targets is believed to be Lewandowski, even though Alex has a great attacking Arsenal already at his disposal. One possible reason is that Lewandowski could be partnering Van Persie up front, and that kind of like confirmed perhaps the transition for Wayne Rooney back into almost a true number 10 role, playing deeper than in the front two. So that could be one reasoning for it, but obviously he has a great partnership with one of our players in Chicago in their days at Dortmund, so that would, in that particular sense, it would make sense. The fee being talked about is about £30 million for Lewandowski, even though he only has 1 year remaining on his contract. It's very similar to the Van Persie situation, but the difference is that Dortmund actually, they have come out to state that they would risk losing him for free next summer than let him go to Bayern Munich this summer. So in financial terms, they're not perhaps as desperate as Arsenal. I'm not saying Arsenal's poor by any means, but I'm just saying because they wanted to make at least a profit. But Dortmund, stable club, and they would rather see success than selling all their best players. And it's kind of a weird situation for me to get my head around, because I'm not really sure why Götze and other players would want to go to Bayern Munich. Obviously, Dortmund's won the last 2 Bundesliga titles. I know the draw of Guardiola might be a big one, but overall, Dortmund playing great football, and as a neutral, I'm definitely rooting them to win the Champions League this year. But again, Lewandowski, great ability, number 9, true number 9, leads the line very well, pacey, very composed on the ball. Quite a big man, 6'2", 6'3" is what I've think he is at. Very fast around the pitch, tireless energy, and obviously great goal scoring record this season, proving that he has matured in that particular part of his game. And obviously he is one of the leading strikers in the world at the moment. But again, the situation is unclear because of the Bayern Munich kind of like competition there with United. But I think if it were going down to it, it would be between us and Bayern Munich only, even though there's late interest from Chelsea, whatever else. But Lewandowski, 24 years old, around 25-30 million pounds this summer. It's going to be a difficult deal, and I think it might be a long saga. It might be the case that he might just stay at Dortmund for another year and then stay in Germany with Bayern Munich, because Dortmund can't kind of like make it as this decision when he's a free agent. So that could pan out how it is, but it could pan out in our way as well. So it's going to be an interesting saga over the summer. I wouldn't put my heart on it to say that we are definitely in the best position to sign him. So it's going to be interesting, and if you guys have it comment on Lewandowski, please leave your comment below. The next player I'm going to talk about is Sven Bender. There's been late reports this week that we are kind of like stepping up our interest in him as well, because after his performance against Madrid has sparked really another kind of like interest war of another Borussia Dortmund player. He's more of a defensive type. He's almost extinguish fires rather than creating them. So in that respect, he might be a good fit with Michael Carrick, allowing Carrick to move forward a bit more and him sitting back a bit. But yeah, very energetic in midfield. Alex has come out this week, praising every single player of Dortmund's midfield. They shut down Alonso very well. The pressing game is immaculate. The energy to get up and down the pitch is definitely admirable. So Bender, I haven't seen a lot of him, to be fair. He's not a regular starter. I've seen Dortmund a couple of times, but sometimes they revert to Sebastian Kehl. Sometimes they play Bender. But Bender, he's probably he's definitely a defensive midfielder who's probably hasn't got the best kind of like technical ability in terms of finding the eye for the final pass or whatever, but he can play simple, cut out and close down any potential hazards causing to our defence. So those are kind of like the specialist midfielders that a lot of you guys have been asking for, and Bender's definitely an alternative, as well as Wanyama, etc. Bender, I think, is quoted that will be around 10 to 15 million pounds. Again, like Lewandowski, is 24 years old, I believe. I think his birthday is today as well. So, in that regard, he's definitely part of this kind of like code that Salex often goes by, is that under 24 years of age, because they still have a potential to get even better, and the fee's not as high as you would have to pay for an established player. But he broke that rule with Robin van Persie. But Sven Bender, like I said, a player who perhaps wouldn't catch the eye as much as people want, and the creativity needed by some of you guys has been asking for of a United midfielder. But I think he's definitely a valuable asset if we do get him, because in games where it's tight and we need to see the game out, it's a great player to have to bring on or start even to make yourself a lot more compact. And that's why I think City the last season, that's why they were quite successful when they brought on the young, revert to a 5-man centre midfield. Definitely helped them to secure the league title. But obviously it's not going to work every single year, but hopefully yes, Bender definitely a valuable commodity if we do get him. 24 years old, £15 million being quoted. I would say that is a bit too high for a player of his ability. I would rather spend it on perhaps Wanyama for £10 million. But again, what do you guys make of Sven Bender? Leave a comment below. The last player I'm going to talk about is LK Gundogan. I'm not sure how you definitely pronounce that, but I'm going to stick to that one. Gundogan, box-to-box midfielder, small, diminutive, but of great technical ability. On Wednesday night he was dictating play. Some of his passes were almost Scholesy-esque. So he's definitely, a great modern number 8, as they call it. And Germany producing a lot of good midfielders nowadays, and Gundogan looks like he's going to be one of those type that's going to be breaking into the first team, challenging Bastian Schweinsteiger for his play. So Gundogan looks like the real deal to me, and I was obviously, apart from Lewandowski, who's 4 goals dominated the headlines, I thought Gundogan was the second best player on the pitch. His energy was really, really awesome, because he just most of the time he's obviously dictating the play in from the central of the park, but he has all the ability, dribbling, one dribble where he left foot, right foot dribble past Varane and Ramos and got a shot away with his left foot, almost beating Diego Lopez. So that shows you that Gundogan is almost a complete player. He can pass, but also he can dribble with at pace and has the eye for the final pass. I was really impressed with him in the last round against Malaga as well. I thought he was really, really great, and would be a enormous addition to the squad, because him and Michael Carrick would be almost the perfect combination. But again, he has reiterated his desire to stay at Dortmund for a couple more years. He's only 21, and so it will be kind of difficult because unlike Goetze, he had a buyout clause, etc. Gundogan doesn't have any of that in his contract, and meaning that it's going to take a lot of money, because he recently signed a new contract as well. A lot of money to lure him away from Dortmund, and for Dortmund to accept a bid. The region of the price, I'm not even sure, maybe 35 million pounds. And in comparison to that of Goetze or Hazard or someone of a similar kind of like age group, I'm not sure whether he's worth it. I would say for 20-25 million pounds, that region, I think that will be definitely a go for the summer transfer window. But again, Gundogan, definitely a great young player, talented, coming up. That I think a lot of you guys should have a look at him. A few of you guys agree with me that he looks like the real deal. Also, he needs to produce that on a more consistent basis, but he has shown that in the biggest game, he's not shying away from kind of like the pressure and also the kind of like expectations that's brought on him, because obviously they brought Nuri Sahin back, but he was the man brought in to replace Nuri Sahin, and I believe he's a better player than Sahin purely because of his more energetic playing style, and his technical ability is on par, if not better, than Sahin's. So LK Gundogan, I'm not sure whether it's going to be possible this summer, but he's definitely an interesting player that I think that we should have a look at, and obviously keep an eye on him for the future. So there is my video for you guys about 3 Dortmund players that I think will make waves, whether at United or at another club in the near future. I hope at least 1 or 2 of these guys will be joining the Reds in the near future. Lewandowski looking the most likely because of his contract situation, but again, like I said earlier, it's going to be a tough tussle between us and Bayern Munich for his signature this summer. So definitely keep an eye out for that one, and obviously I'll try to give you guys an update as soon as I hear anything else. So for any more information, please visit the website ManUnitedDaily.com, or you can follow me on Twitter as well at ManUnitedDaily. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.